Let's look at John Lydon and Public Image Limited. John Lydon's a geezer in his 60s. He's got a really heavy London accent, but he has the map of Ireland all over his face still. You know, he was in the Sex... When he looked at him, the Sex Pistols, he looked like a little fucking impotent upstart. I can see how he got up so many people's noses in the Sex Pistol days. You know, and yet I know I'd love to sit down with him for half an hour. And he'd talk more sense. Half an hour with John Lydon. He used to be Johnny Rotten. It was John Lydon. Half an hour with John Lydon. You'd get more fucking sense out of him than 3 years with any of those cunts in the Irish establishment. Of course, his lovely song with PIL, Public Image Limited, which they condescended to put forward for RTE for the Eurovision. Of course they didn't get selected, because Leo's a ledge. Does he not fucking understand that? Leo's a ledge. All in this together. Ukraine, Zelensky at the gates of Moscow. So RTE, I mean, that was rigged anyway. That was rigged anyway. RTE, just no, you're not mediocre enough. No, so what's going to happen is we're not going to even pass the semi-final, as all. We haven't passed the semi-final in years. This is the country that used to win Eurovision all the time. We would come into the Eurovision Song Contest and immediately, every other country would be going, oh, you know, are they going to come first, second or third? What's going to happen here? When we entered Eurovision, we were the Goliath of Eurovision. But what happened was mediocrity took over, because you may remember, first of all, the Eurovision also woke has fucked up the Eurovision Song Contest anyway. The only thing worse for John Lydon and Pill, the only thing worse than not being selected might have been to be selected. You know, who knows? Five of Swords, guys. It's a Five of Swords scenario there, so you don't know. And it's also that natural order, it wasn't... I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche. You know when your mum says, you go to an audition or something, I didn't get it, it wasn't to be. But she was right. It wasn't to be. But I think John Lydon, in a way, it was very punk. And this is why I've called this video Punks 2. What he did was punk. Look, here I am, take it or leave it. Oh, you've left it, okay, cool. Oh, but Leo's a ledge anyway. Yeah, he's out the door. So, you know, good luck with whatever shite they're going to go to the Eurovision Song Contest with. Good, the best of luck to you with whatever shite they're going to bring to the Eurovision Song Contest. But the whole thing is shite. The last non-shite Eurovision, ironically, was in the United Kingdom in 1998. So this one now is going to be in the United Kingdom because of Ukraine, etc. So, the BBC has taken the hit for this one. The BBC always took on the Eurovision when nobody else wanted to do it. So, you know, Monaco won in Dublin in Ireland in 1971. Monaco didn't have enough space to stage Eurovision, so BBC staged it the next year in Edinburgh. And the same then, I think it was 74. Yeah, Luxembourg won then in Edinburgh. It was staged in 1972 in Luxembourg, and they won again. It was a back-to-back win, something we're fucking experts at. And the following year it was done in Brighton by the BBC. So in the 1970s, the BBC took on 2 Eurovisions where they hadn't won previously. Then Israel won in Jerusalem in 1979. They won in 78 in Paris, staged in Jerusalem. Very well, actually, in many regards. Very well staged show in many regards. And in other regards, it was absolutely fucking toe-curlingly fucking naff. But they won again with the song Hallelujah in Jerusalem in 79, and they just said, no, we can't do this. So NOS in the Netherlands staged it in 1980, and we won with Johnny Logan in 1980, arguably our best song. And Johnny Logan performed it with the live orchestra in The Hague, and it sounds really, really good. The following year, then, Bucks Fizz won in Dublin by 4 points only over a piece of shit from Germany. And if you listen to the RTE staged it extremely well in 81. Listen to their performance of Making Your Mind Up with the RTE orchestra. It's really good. It's better than the single version. The live version in Dublin with the full orchestra is really good. And this is, you see, yeah, the late 70s, when Frank Knuff took over as the scrutineer of the Eurovision, he was an old curmudgeon. He wasn't a particularly agreeable fucker, but he would set a very, very high standard. Frank Knuff hated mediocre. Good man. Good man. He was able for this shit. Once he left, it began to go downhill immediately. but particularly once they abandoned the live orchestra after the BBC Orchestra in 1988, or 19, I beg your pardon, 1998 in Birmingham. It was staged in Birmingham in 98, sorry. 88 in Dublin, 98 in Birmingham. Then the following year it was staged in Israel, and it was dog shit. Absolutely dreadful show they put on in Israel in 99. I stopped watching it soon after that. It went downhill very, very quickly. Nowadays, it's just absolute cesspit. So, in a way, in that regard, I kind of knew that John Lydon and Pill wouldn't get through, and I was kind of relieved. And I wish him and Pill the very, very best. They had a lot of strife recently, so I hope they're able to get over that and see the way around it. But anyway, yeah, never give a sucker an even break. Let's talk about Simon Harris becoming Minister for Justice. That's a cracker. So, in